Earlier, when I came here before I got my camera out, I saw a coyote. Now right over here, there's a few frogs. See if I can show you. There's one right there. There was about 5 of them. One of them, where'd that one go? Right there. One of them was kind of right next to him, a little bigger one, but he went under. My little guy over there. Get those frogs. Go get them. Get the frogs. Hello everybody, welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back with an interesting video for you. Today I want to talk about Alone, Season 2, Episode number 4. So if you haven't seen this episode, please turn this video off. This video will contain spoilers. Again, if you haven't seen Episode 4 of Alone, Season 2, please turn the video off. Otherwise, you're going to get some information that might spoil your show. So let's go to day 7. There's 8 people left. We're going to start off with Tracy. The show opens up showing the scene where she had the bears around midnight or something like that, and she had her headlamp on, she had her air horn going, and she lit up a flare, and she was yelling at the bears, "Get out of here," and she felt bad about being aggressive, I guess, towards the bears. And she taps. And that shocked me. It just floored me because I had no idea she was going to tap. I don't know. She had mentioned something about, this bad part of her came out or something. And the part that she doesn't like being that kind of person or something. And wow, she tapped. Just blew me away. I thought Tracy was going to be around a lot longer, and I was getting excited to see what she was going to show us, so I felt so bad for her. Deep down, I kind of feel like she might have tapped because of the bears. I don't know if I'm right or wrong about that, but that's just my personal thought. I mean, they put a little thing on the screen there that said that 70% of bear attacks happen to people that are camping alone. So, I mean, this could be running through her head. I don't know. So let's move forward. We're on day 8 now, and there's 7 people left. We're going to open up with Mike. He's talking about having a dream with his wife, right? He's kissing his wife in his dream. Yeah, gosh, man, that had to be romantic, right? And then he wakes up, and there's a slug over his lips, and he was kissing a slug. That is funny. I'm sorry, Mike, but that is funnier than hell. So I would have been cooking a slug probably at that point. I'd be like, dude. So he's going to make a drying rack for his wood, which he's going to put the wood over the fire so that the heat from the fire can dry the wood. That's really smart because there was another annotation on the screen that said in that area there's 70% humidity. So I thought that was really smart of Mike to do that. Now let's talk about David. David and I have so much in common, it's hilarious. So he opens the scene, he's talking about tacos and fried chicken, and he didn't really say KFC, but he said the original recipe, so I'm guessing that's what he's talking about, is KFC. That's one of my personal favorites. He's talking about having a Coke. And this is all because he's been hungry for days. Now for me it wouldn't be a Coke necessarily, it'd be probably Dr. Pepper for me, but everything else that he said is totally me. I'd be thinking about green chili and fried chicken, and David cracks me up. So he goes to check his gill net. Nothing in the gill net. Let's go to Justin. Justin used his hammock as a net, and he had set the net. So he goes to check it, and he finds a nice fish in there. And the show said that it was a rat fish, which I don't know anything about it, but they say it's a rat fish. So Justin got to eat that night. Let's go back to Mike. Now he's building a raised cooking platform, which was so cool. He brought up a platform with wood, and then he put a bunch of rocks on it, and he's going to build the fire on top of those rocks. Very smart. Very cool. He's really starting to show some of his skill. The way he had his pan over the fire was smart. He had a stick like this, and then he had the handle of his pan over the stick, and it was bound, and the pan was levitated over the fire. Really cool technique that he showed there. He also found a water container, like a bleach bottle or something like that. He filled it up with water, and he made a deal where he can use his feet to have, for the lack of a better description, running water like a faucet. So 1 gallon at a time, you know, if he needs to wash his hands or something like that. I thought that was cool. And the other thing about Mike that I noticed that was really neat was the way that he kept himself occupied, the way that he kept himself busy. This is big time in my opinion. I think this is crucial in a survival situation. And what happens here is it brings me back to my thoughts of being in the military. And more specifically, when we were in the military, we would run. And we would run, you know, 10 miles, 12 miles, and we never realized how far we actually ran because we were singing cadence. And what that cadence did was it kept us occupied. It kept our minds busy, away from the reality of what we really were in, into another place. And I think that's kind of what Mike's doing. He's got his mind elsewhere by staying busy and doing all these things that are going to better his camp. He's setting up for the long term. I think the only concern that I got for him right now is he misses his wife. I think she is literally his right-hand person in life, and I think if anything's going to get him, that's going to be it. I don't know. Now let's talk about Larry. He goes and checks, and he does not have any fish yet. He makes a spear, and now we're starting to see another side of Larry. We're seeing a happy side of Larry. So I think Larry is one of these people that's a multifaceted personality kind of person. He's got a lot of depth to him, to his character. I think there's a lot more to him, and he's starting to let out a little bit more of himself. The happy side, the jokester. I think he's a cool guy. I really like Larry. So he's making a spear, and on the spear, on the end of the spear, he put a fishing gig, like a frog gig. Now most people would take a piece of wood and they would baton it one way like this, and then they would baton it so that there would be four pieces that would be sharpened and stuck into a fish or a frog or something like that. Now Larry did this thing. He made like 8 or 9, you know, it's like a shotgun as he put it. So it's got all these little barbs. So very good. I think it's going to be very effective for him to spear fish and stuff like that. So again, it was cool to see him happy. He's starting to come into his element, I think Larry is. Now let's go talk about David again. David found some rope. Now, instead of just letting the rope be rope, he's using this rope to make another gill net. Now, I was really impressed. He made a net needle, and he made a second gill net. I thought that was impressive. I thought that was really neat. Very smart. The technique that he used to make the net was different than the technique I used to make a net. But I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I thought it was cool. He used a needle. He actually used a real technique. I mean, he made a real net. When I make a net, I'll have my ridge line up here, and then I'll have a bunch of strips, and I'll make a clove hitch on the top, and then from there I'll bring, you know, all these strands are hanging down, and I'll just do overhand knots. That's how I make my net. But I'm not knocking his net. It's actually a very, very cool net that he made. I'm really, really happy for him. I think it's cool. Really cool guy. I like David. So let's go back to Larry. He's checking his net. He sees a small fish in there, and he gets excited because he hasn't ate for a couple days. He goes over there and he mentioned that he should wait for the tide to go down, but he was anxious, you know. He thought he could grab that fish, and there was a rock right there. So he goes to get the fish, and the fish falls out of the net. And he flips out again. Not like a major flip out, but he's like, oh, dang, man, I should have waited for the tide to go down, and coulda, shoulda, woulda, you know. I really like Larry. He's a cool dude. So let's go to day 9. 9 days, folks. 7 people left. Nicole, she makes a counting stick to count the days. I think that's really smart. I think that's a very neat approach to take to this situation. Alan, last year that won season 1, he had a counting stick, and he knew exactly how many days he was out there. Because if you don't have something like that that keeps track of time, you lose time. And so sometimes you don't even realize, you know, you might think you've been there 3 months and you might have only been there 20 days. You know, so a counting stick I think would help. So Nicole did that. She talked about going and setting her gill net. Then it goes back to David. He starts talking about how dehydrated he is because he ran out of his fresh water. And so now he's to the point where he has to boil water. So the technique that he used to make the fire was really smart. He took some cedar bark to make his tinder to get the fire going, and then he took some of the resin, some of the sap out of the trees to keep the fire going as a fuel. I thought that was really smart because that allows the fire to have more time to get stuff going. Really smart. So he's boiling his water. He's got his pan sitting on the fire and he's boiling the water, and the pan falls over and the water spills everywhere, and he gets kind of pissed off because he's dehydrated, he's thirsty, he's trying to get the water going. This is a big, you know, there's a lot going on, you know, to make a fire and get this stuff going, trying to film it, and then you spill your water and you're like, damn it. So I can't tell you how many hundreds of times I've had that happen to me. You know, I'll take a metal water bottle and I'll be putting it over the fire and I'll be just feeling the thirst, getting ready to drink, and my water will fall over, puts the fire out. It's just, it pisses you off, really does. And so he talks about how he held it together, which I thought was cool. But it was funny too because he talked about, you ought to heard some of the stuff I said off camera. I love this dude. I love this guy. So what goes through my mind, and I don't know if this is accurate or not, it's just a thought that went through my mind, but here I am looking at David, picturing him dropping F-bombs left and right off camera. Fuck this and fuck that. That'd be funny. Okay, let's gather ourselves here. I just thought that was funny. You know, I could picture this guy just going F-bomb crazy off camera. Oh, sheesh. So now we go back to Larry, right? He goes and checks his line. I think he had like a trot line or something set up, and he had 2 fish in there. And then I believe he checked either another trot line or a gill net or something. He had 2 more fish, so he had a total of 4 fish. So Larry's eating tonight. I thought that was cool. So he's fish. He filleted them, and then he used the carcasses of the fish to make like a stew. So nothing went to waste. Larry was really smart about that. He really used all his resources, so I thought that was cool. Again, it just shows the multifaceted personality that Larry is and the type of skills that he really has under the hood. He's got a lot going on. So let's talk about Nicole. We are on day 10. 10 days alone, right? So she goes to check her gill net and she sees 3 bears, a mama and 2 cubs, I think. Now bears, there was a little thing that went across the screen that said bears can run 25 miles an hour. And the mama bear stood up like, hey, I'm here, you know. So the video editors or the production crew of Alone did a very, very smart thing in how they ended this episode. They left us hanging again. They left us hungry for another episode because the last thing they showed was what appeared to be Nicole running away from the bears. Now you can't do that, folks. That's a bad, bad, bad situation. If I take my dogs with me and I'm walking on a dirt road or anywhere, and I'm just walking, and then I start running, their reaction will instantly go to run. They'll follow my lead. So I'm afraid that if Nicole decided to run, I'm fearful that she could trigger those bears to follow suit. I hope this doesn't happen to her, but we'll see in episode 5. Man, crazy. It also shows another small clip of Larry. He has like some tree swing or something. So that's cool, because it doesn't show Larry just out there miserably surviving. It shows him thriving. I think he's going to go a long way. I really do. We didn't see Jose in this episode. We didn't see Randy in this episode. I'm looking at the list of characters here on the show. Yeah, we didn't see Randy. We didn't see Jose. But we saw everybody else. Now Tracy's gone. So Tracy, Mary Kate, and Desmond are all gone. And we only have 7 people left. So folks, I want to say thank you for watching the video today on my take on Season 2, Episode 4 of Alone. I hope you got some good, useful information. Please feel free to leave your comments down below. Please feel free to share this video, like this video, and if you like the content that you see on my channel, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And until next time, folks, have a beautiful day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Look at this guy. Wouldn't want to land on that. That'd make you have a really bad day. I don't think that'd be very fun, would it?